All right, cyber traders, welcome on back here this Tuesday. As always, post Traders Talk edition each and every Tuesday. That is here this afternoon meeting, January 9th. Not always is it January 9th. Great to see Chuck, Bill, and all of our students and members alike inside the cyber group room. Just give me a quick chat back if you could hear me loud and clear. Had Kathleen on C4, the stock, just a moment ago. Jeff on our Mara trade there. Chuck on Boyle, and actually those two otherwise. So great to see Lee, Chris, Manny, Michael, Brian, Mark, Craig going from top to bottom in between there, and all of us otherwise on Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc. at Cyber Trading U. As always, just be a friend, tell a friend. But we actually just came off our Traders Talk workshop earlier today. Had a great workshop. Went over Mara mainly, went over NVIDIA from yesterday, and showing you really how you could base just a simple options call out just off of level 3 and level 4. And then at the end, we actually had a fun little raffle giveaway, a couple of different coaching packs. Congratulations to two of our students there, Pablo E. and Phil M. I'll message you folks. If not later today, then as soon as we open up shop tomorrow morning. There's actually a couple of us I do need to still get back to. There we go, my friend Larry, and then a couple more as well via email. So been on the stick most of my day today, actually. So trust me, by the end of this afternoon, I definitely intend to get back to most, if not all. Actually, Larry, nice thumbnail, my friend, right there, too, I see. All right, so ARDX, look at this, up 11+%, breaking higher from yesterday, and actually definitely proving me wrong in terms of continuation because, back yesterday, I was saying, look at the gap. It filled it back from 2021. This is actually one of the more notable gap fills that we've had really since that time and maybe a bit beforehand. So finally, over time, we didn't hold our breath for it, but ended up filling this gap from the end of last year into the beginning of this, and definitely filling it more, definitely exceeding that gap fill at this point, breaking way above it now. It's at the highs of the day here. So easily enough, I'll just put this ARDX just on our watch list to begin. ARDX. Let's take a look at level 4 and just setting up shop here pretty quick here. So I'm just going to show you a level 4 to make it even easier. But here's an iceberg order in which it broke above. Actually, at first this morning, it was many as 90,000+ shares that were out there at one time. From there, it looks like someone pulled part of their order, but still showed as like 50, 60,000 shares at first on the initial test. And then just now, re-breaking or retesting and then breaking out here. So pretty good move. Like we had said, we'll definitely put this back on our watch list, and it's extremely tradable. Good spread, good tier size, even though it's proving me wrong or exceeding my expectations. Well, at this stage, let's see if there's more here. Why not? You got a 42,000 share iceberg up top. It looks like at 923. Along that, actually at 927. That another 41,000 sitting there. Is that through? Yep, that's just even on Nasdaq. How about that? So if I had the Bookviewer up in time, you would actually be able to see that there directly on the Nasdaq Bookviewer. Just show it from my advanced level 2 window there. Now, ARDX on our list. Let's see what else we can grab though from top to bottom. Actually, I'm gonna just jump to Mara here. MARA ended up making a nice move back up off a minor support level. Just earlier today, we covered this trade from top to bottom, or bottom to top, then back to bottom, then back in between here. And I got a lot of lines on this chart, mind you, but just before it ended up retesting big support, the big range that we had called out early this morning. In fact, actually, give me a quick moment. I'd love to show you that. So earlier today in chat, we had mentioned this in our workshop before too. This is why it's so important to be a member, at least inside our live trading room, to receive all of our commentary, call outs, etc. So earlier today, I wrote to you, we went over this in Traders Talk at 9:25 this morning. Mara 2477 to 25, the combination of them, the range of them is the first support level. And then if it were to make a clean break below there, then you got like a really far drop. So thankfully, we didn't have to worry about that clean break. It ended up holding support early in the morning. And once again now too. So at least here for the afternoon, we're going to put Mara back on our list. You might sit there and say, like, Josh loves Mara. It's like the only thing he focuses in on. Not really. That's not true at all. It's just a matter of, volatility. If this thing had a 20-cent spread, I would not be calling it out. If this thing moved, 5 or 8 cents across the entire day, I'd say it wouldn't be worth our time. So over time, I'm certain Mara will become more out of her price range the more this goes up. And then eventually we'll focus in more on the other miners out there, as we always have been. But like, CLSK, Hut, we've been following that for a little while here. So we're always going to trade new ones over time. Mara and Riot go together, CLSK, they all move somewhat in tandem. But I will tell you though, I just Mara, given the volatility, maybe it's a lower float, maybe it's just the overall, activity and eyes that are on this trade, but it's a good combination for now. I mean, remember what I said about NIO back, a year and a half year and a half ago at this point. The more this drops off, it becomes a slower, more stagnant trade. You're not going to hear me call the stock out nearly as frequent, right? And that is exactly what happened on this one. So they come and go. Right now, Mara is our cup of tea here. It's the flavor of the week. And, for now, I'll add that back to our list, right? But let's see what else we got, though. We'll go from top to bottom now and see what else we can grab here. I'd say a lot of these are going to be washed up, at least from earlier today, like all the big percentage gainers from the morning session. SNTG looks like a second win type of move there. Not much happening now. Nexi obviously tanking here across the afternoon. Done. Z-Car had a nice little gap fill, Leda. This one actually. I know Leda was watching earlier today, and gap filled up towards like $8. It did a good job filling a good chunk of it, but just at this stage now, it looks pretty weak. Order book pretty thin. Ooh, this ACET just up until a moment ago is actually looking great. Did we even call this one out, Rich? Let me just take a look. I didn't, so I'm just asking if Rich did in my absence, and I don't think he did either. So hey, there's been plenty of stocks out there that we've had our eyes on. This one ended up just making more of a recent pop up after 2 o'clock, topped off at 379, 377 there. It is still at a potential higher low. It's still at a potential support level, but I really don't like this most recent drop off. So I'll come back to this one at the end if we need to. All right, we keep it moving here. SLDB stock from yesterday, actually pop and drop, and I guess trying to make a recovery now. But look at that order book. Not a fan of that there. Okay, Cutter here, CUTR. LAES. This one looks pretty decent, actually. Nice slow move, but at the highs, and good book, good trend. Love all of that at least. I'll add that. LAES. ACCD, kind of same deal, but in terms of bang for the buck, as far as like really what you can make more money on, there's probably better stocks at this point. GRTS, wow, this one actually had a pretty good move up. And don't get your stocks twisted, as I actually just did a second ago for like a microsecond here. You got GRTS up 25.5% today. Why do they have to make it so hard for us here? They got GRTS on the gainers list, and then they got GRFS on the losers list. Actually, both moved up today. This one being more of a gap fill, thankfully, but let's go back to that other one. Number 15 on the gainers list, GRTS. This one making a pretty good push across the entire day, but much like the LAES stock, it's right at the highs, right where we want to see it. Cheap, good book. For now, that makes the cut. All right, I got the C4 or 4C. I think Fausto is tuning in right now. So 4C, we'll call it. Nevertheless, great pop from earlier today. Higher low over time, and then it ran back up higher. Look at the daily chart, though. This thing back, a few weeks ago, if you recall, if you were in our trading room back then, we ended up following this back in early to mid-December, ran up from basically 2 up to 8 in a matter of a couple of days' time. Phenomenal trade back then, but we don't really necessarily expect it to make a return back up to those highs. So it's easy to say, hey, it's made for a great bounce, good swing trade. I would not really be swing trading the stock. This would just be a day trade to me. It has been. I haven't been in it today at least, but I've been calling it out as a day trade specifically. So good book, near the highs. Doesn't hurt us to add this back to our watch list here for this afternoon. Now, if this is a lower high in building and then it just tanks, then at that point, probably just scrap it off your list then. But all right, CDIO, familiar name from last week. It was a choppy move then, choppy move now. CENX, it's aluminum. Yep, aluminum stock there. All right, so let's hop over to the loser side here. We got class ahead. Class at 3:05 Eastern Time for any of our gold, platinum, and diamond students here at CTU. So I want to make sure that you folks have enough time to click the link, get ready for class. I know that Fausto is getting ready right now. All right, so we had the GRFS on the loser side. We saw that already, actually. Let me just jump back to it as we begin there. Normally for a gap fill, especially for a stock like filling the gap going upward, like a downward gap and it's filling it going up, you normally tend to see it just fall off pretty quickly after. What goes up comes back down twice as fast. Well, this one's been proving me wrong in that regard. It hasn't made that full-fledged reversal really at all. Right around 10 o'clock, maybe 10:30, she actually had that reversal, but then higher low and it bounced. So, uh, does it hurt us to add this to our watch list again? At this stage now, it doesn't. I mean, we got 5 stocks on there. I feel like we'd have a pretty big list if we were at like 9 or 10. So I don't feel like we're overwhelming us here with putting this on there. But normally for a stock down and a dead cat bounce opportunity, you typically tend to see it exhaust out after the morning and, more so drop. So at least this has been holding here. But I guess I'll add this to the back end of our watch list now. GRFS. Just don't get them confused though. GRTS up, like on the gainers list. GRFS maybe up, but it's on the losers list here. GRFS. All right, so let's see what else we can add here, though. Otherwise, I mean, a bunch of stocks that are really cheap. JetBlue down big, obviously, with Boeing perhaps there overnight. More news coming out, that whole debacle. JetBlue at the lows. Boeing down a little bit today and dropped off just this afternoon, but I'll tell you, JetBlue's looking pretty weak. Delta up today. Gotta love Delta. Not the stock, but the airline at least. I love Delta Airlines. UAL, pretty choppy there and flat. Not really a whole lot to write home about in that regard. JetBlue. There we go. We'll add this to our watch list as a short. It's at the lows. It's hard for us to ignore this. Unity, right there. So another nice trade dropped off earlier today. I think the news out on this one was that they ended up letting go or firing 25% of their workforce. And it actually led to a reaction that we would normally expect, which is a pop at first. If you look at the after hours yesterday, this thing popped when that news came out. That's often what happens when a company announces layoffs. But doesn't mean it's going to continue. And that happened just in the after hours when we weren't really trading it. So, just the overnight reaction was a big drop off afterwards. It tanked as soon as the market opened up, and obviously now breaking lower even from last week's lows there at the time. So, Unity, I'll add this to our watch list. All right, let's see if there's anything else looking good. Actually, there's a lot that's down percentage wise, like more than 5% at least. So, for Sam or Grant, Brian, Larry, Laureen, anyone else here in the chat board, just let me know if there's anything else that I'm missing. Did I mention ARDX? Yeah. So we started off with ARDX. That one just looking great. That one's been phenomenal and pushing up even more since we last left off with it. So it's been up, like 16, 17 cents from where we even left off with it in this meeting. Really good trade. I mean, at this point, you'd figure maybe $10 is your next psychological. Oh, take a look at this. Huge iceberg on the buy side. Wow. And I don't have the NASDAQ Bookviewer up running on me here, but you see it on TradeStation. That's my level 3 built within the platform, and it's on the NASDAQ. It is confirmed. Just you see it via level 2 even. If you look close enough, it's on my level 2 window. 97, 90, or 99,000 share iceberg on the buy side there. It's at 925. So likely that was a ladder. Likely that was an order on the bid that was pushing this up. Yep. And there we go. And here's level 4. Uh-oh. So it popped up originally at 9:15, and now, although it was just out there a moment ago, and I'll show time and sales in a bit, but it looks like most of that order just got whacked, just got filled right there pretty quickly. Yep. Although it shows in yellow on my tape, which isn't correct. That should be red. But we'll see what happens at 9:25, whether that leads to another slingshot or if this is the top of the roller coaster. You didn't really want to see that order get filled at 925 there. So we're going to keep this on our list at the top, number 1 here for now. But I'll tell you, I like what we got though otherwise. I mean, Sam with the GRFS news, and then otherwise, that's pretty much it. That's all we got here. Check out Benzinga Pro. We got about 15 minutes anyway. I want to make sure all of our students have enough time to get ready for class, the advanced trading class with Fausto, the man himself, coming up at 3:05 Eastern. You got Nexi, MTC. Both of those are absolute crap. I can only tell you that just from experience. Nexi, absolutely crap. Just looking at the order book. The MTC, yeah, crap. All right, just checking out YouTube lastly. Anyone on YouTube, Facebook Live, etc. at Cyber Trading You. Always look to hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button so you know when we're going live, when we're not. And always look to spread the good word of CTU around. Got to get back to my inbox, like I'd said, just later on today for a few students, Larry, Joyce, Bill. I think I got back to a couple of us on Traders Talk questions, but I have a few more I have to get through just by the end of today. So just check your emails later on this evening. Be on the stick at least from 3 to 4 p.m. And then actually got a nice spa afternoon. How about that? Getting a nice massage, facial. Got the whole treatment going on actually later today. I figured kick off the new year right, much like we're giving away a couple coaching packs to you guys here. Start the new year off right for myself. Little self-care. All right, so folks, again, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, we got a good list. I love what we got, in fact. A bunch of trades on the way up, a bunch of trades holding near the highs. And if that's not good enough for you, we got a couple shorts. JetBlue, we got Unity, right? All right, folks. So, hey, otherwise, just if you have any other questions, feel free to shoot me over a quick private chat. I'll be on the mic, like Ed said, up until the market close today. If you're joining us on social media, just scan that QR code on the top left of the stream. If you're not as fancy with your phone, not as good with your camera, that is okay. Just go right down to the link on the banner below, ctu.co/trial. We look forward to seeing you inside our live trading room. All right, folks, talk to everybody soon. Take care.